Hey everyone, welcome to the Withering Effect, episode 131. Today's date is February 13th, 2022, and I am Duds, or Duds Versus, known to the rest of the interwebs.
And I'm Jimbo. You may know me as Jimbo Slice 23. So what have you been up to this week, Duds?
A lot of stuff, and not a lot of stuff at the same time. Minecraft-wise, I've been building a sugarcane farm. A super simplistic one. Nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly mainly just a visual farm. Where my cactus storage area is from the episode released this week, there's a little side section that had like a lava pool.
Mm-hmm.
And I filled in the little lava pool and put in like a 7 sugarcane farm. So it's not going to be hyper efficient by any means. But it'll do the job. I'm always in the area, so it's always constantly loaded. So that's good.
You mainly need it for rockets, or?
No, just I'm going to have a bigger trading hall coming. I keep talking about this. Originally, the trader hall idea, I was going to build it like episode 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone else kind of jumped on villagers and doing books and stuff. So I was like, it's not important to the server right now. Everyone's able to get their books a certain way. So I'll just do my villager trading hall whenever I kind of feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to rush it.
Right.
So it's for the paper to trade with villagers and stuff.
Yeah. Nice to have your own rocket supply, too. You need paper for that.
That's true, too. But I would need a creeper farm.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I would do that in my area. I'd like to have my own TNT, gunpowder, rocket manufacturing area. That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I did a sugarcane farm. And the big thing was working on a cinematic with Winter. If you watched my previous episodes, you guys know I had a meetup with Winter. He gave me my Explorer's hat. And in exchange for the Explorer's hat, I was to go out and find him items and bring them back to him. That's how the deal works. So we had our first meetup of the first item to go get.
Ooh.
And not only was it a 3-minute clip that took 45 minutes to edit, because I like doing this thing where I pop in and out with the replay mod cam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that.
I think I go in and out with the replay mod cam like 3 times in this episode, or in this 3-minute clip, which isn't a lot because each time it's only about 30 seconds long.
Mm-hmm.
But I am so nitpicky. I have to get the footage to line up exactly so the head movements are doing exactly what they're doing when I overlap the replay mod footage.
Yep.
I'm like, it doesn't need to be this picky. The mouths are not moving. No one can tell that what's being said is what's being said.
Right. I have that issue sometimes.
Mm.
It does make a big difference, though, just as so many seconds of a replay mod and back to like your regular view.
Mm-hmm.
It does make a big difference.
Yeah. So I've got that going on. There's also another 2-minute clip that's going to go along with that clip that I've been prepping for. Basically, I designed a whole new skin last night just for this 2-minute clip that's going to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to see it.
I had to do a little build in Creative World that I've got to transfer over. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely channeling all the little gags you do in your episodes to try to make this funny, for sure. It's nerve-wracking because I'm spending all this time doing like 5 minutes worth of footage. I'm like days behind on this video now because of this. I'm not building anything. It's worrisome, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it looks good, as long as it is what you want it to be, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely take your time.
That's the thing. It's got to look good. But other than that, I've got some planning being done with Carl on a blaze farm, trying to grab some materials and stuff that we might use for that. And he actually has my nether tunnel hooked up to the top north, south, east, west to the hub.
I saw that.
So I'm working on designing my actual tunnel.
Yeah, good thing I don't have a tunnel. I just have to decorate like my entrance.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You got like 2 blocks.
Yep, 2-block tunnel.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of it for my week. How about you? What have you been up to?
Just started building my storage system, actually. My last episode I put out yesterday, actually. I have a double moss farm I added to help supply the bone meal to my wood farm, and it's working perfectly. surprised I was able to get this to work so well. But yeah, I'm getting a ton of moss, ton of bone meal. The moss is just on the side, it comes in, but I can always convert that into more bone meal. So it's nice having all that hooked up and just hitting a lever and having everything doing what you want it to do with no tutorial added. So it's always a big accomplishment for me. At least I feel like it, that, you know, when I'm able to do that kind of stuff, it boosts my confidence in my redstone at least. But I had to I have this huge room I built for, you know, chopping down wood. You know, you need a lot of room for the big trees and stuff. So I built this huge room and I have to design it now. You know, I have to make it look presentable. You know, I want it to make it look good. The bottom part, I really like the way it came out, but, you know, there's a top section. And I was going to carry the design from the bottom, but I know because it's at the bottom, I can always do something different up the top, on the top, and switch it up a little bit. So that's what I did. And I'm kind of making, I guess you could say, like a dome type of look on the ceiling for the room.
Those are always complicated but fun when they are actually finished.
Yeah, and I think I got the shape right, and I'm adding the moss to the ceilings, and it's starting to look a lot better that way. I still have to detail it to really bring the room together. But building this storage system, I have a certain storage system I really like, to where, you know, I can have my bulk items and also my other items on the side filtered into the system to where I don't have to. And I usually do the same designs every season, but it takes up a lot of room. And I noticed while building this storage system, I'm already like breaking into places where I travel, like my tunnel down into my wood room.
Yeah.
It's like it's got redstone all through it now. You know, I got to jump around the redstone to get down there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to move stuff around. I got to figure out how this room's going to look. I got the one side done with the moss, and where the storage is, it's on a different level. So I got to figure out maybe a different design for that. I don't know. It's going to be challenging. I have been recording the whole storage thing. I'm not going to do like a time lapse or anything. You know, I felt like I've done that every time I build a storage. So I'm kind of just like jumping through. Yeah, just kind of jumping through and making cuts to where I need it, and having a lot of trouble with this big room and trying to tie everything together. Especially when you know where certain builds are going to be, you know where things are going to go, and you got to try to design around that for the future. And it's been really difficult, and I want it to look good. This is my main place, and just want to make sure it looks right before I put anything out there. If it looks too bad, I might show it just to say, look at where I'm at. You know, like, this is the struggle, you know, but just to let people know, you know, I am human. I do mess up on designs a lot. It's a lot of block placing. Not all the time you go into creative and get it right. So
yeah, I'm very much not a creative player.
Me neither.
Very rarely do I go into creative and design something before I actually build it. You can see it a bit in my sugarcane time lapse. I was building the sidewalls, and you see me put up two different styles of walls and just tear it down because it looked ugly.
Yeah, there's a time and a place for a time lapse too. Like you think, like you said, on your time lapse, you might tear it all down mid time lapse because you don't know what it's going to look like. You know, could mess up a time lapse.
Dude, when I hit the start recording the time lapse button, I get like nervous and my chest starts beating harder because I'm like, I got to get this done as quick as possible to make the editing as easy as possible.
Right.
And the longer you're like, oh, this is like almost an hour recording now. My chest is just like, it's like, geez.
And you're like, oh, forgot these blocks. I've got to figure out a way to, you know, put that in the recording or take that out of the recording.
Yeah, because if I don't, it's going to be all in the comment section.
Yeah, it's true. I do that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been my week, you know, just having trouble with the room, the design around the storage system. That's where I'm at.
Storage systems, to me, are always the most important part of your Minecraft base. It's where you're going to be at the most.
Exactly.
So your storage area has to be the best looking area in a base, according to me.
Yeah, I agree. I usually do a lot of work on my storage area. And I have the most fun, I think, messing with storage areas.
I do too. I love designing storage rooms.
Yeah, mainly because I know how to build them. I don't have to go into too much depth on the tutorial. Now, once, you know, multi-item sorting area. I will have to check it out and see how it's done. But honestly, I kind of knew how to do it because I built it so many times. And it's real nice when builds, or at least redstone contraptions you don't know, or that you know but not too sure how they work. You got to check it out every time. You start to get used to it.
Yeah.
And then you just know it. You don't have to do all that stuff and go in the tutorials and double check everything because you've done it before and you know it.
Should we go ahead and move on to the news? Because we have a decent amount.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the big cutoff that you will not be able to play Minecraft Java Edition on March 10th, 2022, unless you convert to a Microsoft account.
Oh man, they're pushing it.
They're pushing it hard. Now, you'll still get your migration cape. There's that.
Isn't it a different cape now?
Same cape.
Isolager cape? Or is that a...
Nope. You're thinking about our other news.
Yes, that's in the dungeons.
Yep. Minecraft Dungeons hit 15 million players. So GG's to them.
Right.
And to celebrate, they're doing the Festival of Frost, which lasts till February 22nd. It's got a bunch of different, basically ice and snow themed challenges. Some of the levels on the tower have got new decorations to go with that. And if you log in anytime after February 8th, you'll receive the Isolager cape as a thank you.
Oh, might have to do that.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get back into Dungeons. I just haven't had the time.
Yeah, my mind's been mainly on Minecraft.
Yeah, trying to make videos and all that stuff. But that's it for Dungeons. We did have a Java snapshot words, and it was another tiny one. Lots of bug fixes. I say tiny one. It really wasn't. It's tiny for us non-techie kind of people. There are several features in the game that have now been converted to tags, such as structures, items, blocks, and biomes.
Right.
And that's going to be huge for the technical community and the map making community. For me and Jimbo, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, probably not going to use that.
But for map making people, it seems like a lot of these smaller updates are kind of driven to those guys by throwing in large technical features. It could affect vanilla if they're trying to recode how some of these structures and stuff get spawned in the world.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little easier on the code, so...
I was just thinking the other day, I think it was yesterday, about me asking QMagnet what he needed to build these maps, because he built some really intricate maps. He was on the show, if anyone hasn't heard it. Great map builder. But yeah, it's making it... He told us you really don't need anything. You just need the game itself. Everything's on this game you need to build these maps for, different parkour or whatever kind of map you want to make. And here it looks like they're making things even easier. Makes it even more easy to just use the game instead of these third-party applications to help you with your map making. Pretty cool. Even though I'd probably never make a map, I'm sure this makes it easier.
I've thought about making a map because you can get the map maker's cape.
Didn't know they had one.
But if I were to do something like that, I would want to go all in and make the best map I possibly could.
Like what kind? Like a game?
Yeah, I would try to do something like a mini game map.
Okay.
Maybe a maze that can constantly change.
All right.
Something like that could be cool. But that would take away from doing videos and stuff.
Yeah.
So I would have to kind of choose.
Yeah, you would pick up something else to learn, though.
This is true.
Expanding your Minecrafting.
Yeah. But some of the small bugs that they fix is structure blocks not rotating entities correctly. Super flat water worlds were obsolete for the 1.18 update. They're back. And flashing particles when boosting upwards with fire rockets. It used to be dead center of the screen, so it would block your vision. Now it's off to the bottom right a bit.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Also, if you had a parrot on your shoulder and you used the Riptide enchantment, it would kill the parrot. Now it doesn't.
I did see that. That's good.
Yeah. Like I said, smaller update for us normal people who aren't technical.
Unless we have parrots with tridents.
Unless we have parrots with tridents. But also, if you're a South Korean, there's a law or a mandate now that you have to have gameplay timer notices built into the games. So Mojang's gone ahead and done that, so you don't have to worry about that. And it'll let players know to take the occasional break stuff.
Which is always healthy.
Yeah.
It's good to take breaks.
Yeah, it's not added for any of the other regions, though. And I think a lot of players might ask for it to be.
Maybe.
So that could be something to look out for.
Might be just like a freedom type of thing. Like, I should be able to play as long as I want. And I should be able to take breaks when I want. So there's also that. I'm sure that plays into it.
Yeah, give us the optional toggle setting.
Right.
Like, yeah, I would like the timer turned on to let me know to take a break.
So I'm sure they're like, hey, it's good to take breaks in the game. Here's the help. Some people may not want to, regardless if it's healthy or not.
Yeah. And then there was a Bedrock Beta that came out.
Yeah, saw that.
We got a new goat horn animation, which doesn't look right to me still.
No.
So it basically just brings the player's hand to their mouth with the goat horn in it, and then it plays the goat horn sound, but it removes the goat horn before the sound is done playing.
I didn't realize that.
So I was like, what?
Huh.
Yeah, so there's that. Frog spawns, the little CD eggs for frogs. You can now see them underneath if they're in the water. I guess before you couldn't see them.
Yeah, I didn't know you could before, or you couldn't before.
And the big part of the beta update is Frog Light's got new textures, which is something we were asking for.
Yeah, it's very subtle.
Yeah. They basically made them brighter, which in my opinion made it worse. The one thing I do like is you can now rotate the block.
Oh, yeah.
Place it down in different directions and you can get a different texture. They are all relatively the same texture, though. It's not like it's a huge change, but I do like the idea of that. I'm still not a fan of the textures.
Yeah, we'll see how it's used.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're pretty similar to the sea lantern, unless you want that different color.
Yeah, it's basically different color sea lanterns, except for the verde, which is the same color sea lanterns.
Oh, yeah, the greenish. Yep.
Yeah.
Verde means green.
And to me, it looks like you took a light block and you shoved it inside of a frog. So the frog is now stretched to the size of a block.
Yeah, almost.
And that's the texture.
It's like the ribbit throat.
Exactly.
That's what I noticed.
Yeah, it doesn't sit too well with me. It doesn't feel right.
I guess it does feel like frog, though. It does feel like a frog. If a frog had a light, that's probably what it would look like, I guess.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if it's going to get the end rod treatment. Because remember, for years, nobody used the end rod because it had that stupid purple-pink base.
Yep, I remember.
And then they changed it to gray. And then end rod became a viable light source again. So I wonder if these are going to get that kind of treatment. Because right now, the only time I would use a frog light is to put trapdoors over top of it. But I think the farm for frog lights would be a bit harder than a sea lantern farm with guardians.
Yeah, you would think.
The sea lantern or guardian farm me and Carl has built, you can AFK that thing for an hour and you end up with like 18 stacks of sea lanterns. I don't think a frog light farm is going to produce that much.
Yeah, it's also the most efficient way to make a frog light farm is to find the magma cube spawner, and that's only in the bastion. You'd have to deal with all that, dig it out, try to make a farm in there. Which honestly, what's harder, that or this ocean monument? Then again, the ocean monument, it doesn't need dug out anymore. It doesn't need drained.
Nope.
There's other ways around it. So yeah, I guess it would be easier.
I never thought I would say a guardian farm would be the easier version of another farm.
Yeah, of any other farm. Yeah, because it's normally pretty difficult.
Yeah. All right, but that's kind of it for the news. Should we hop into some listener comments?
Okay.
So the first one we have is from the Keleton Pears. I'm hoping I'm saying that right.
Sounds like it. Looks like it.
It's spelled skeleton without the S. So they want to know what are top 3 most annoying mobs in the game and how would we improve them. I say let's save how would we improve them for obviously mending Minecraft, because that's a thing.
Yeah.
But our top 3 most annoying mobs. I think we can both say phantom.
Yeah. One of mine is the bat.
Yes.
It always seems to be in your way.
Uh-huh. Always squeaking in your...
Yeah, and there's no real
useless
benefits to it. Yeah, it's useless.
So yeah, phantoms, bats.
What other annoying mob? There's quite a few, but we're talking top 3.
Yeah. Baby zombies are kind of annoying just because they're faster and their hitboxes are smaller. But I don't know if I'd put them in my most annoying.
Gas?
Mm.
Gas are pretty annoying. But they're more manageable now that they can't hit you at any level. They have to be eye level.
Yeah.
They do wreck builds.
They do. But they're only in the nether, so...
Yeah.
Endermen are annoying.
Yeah, you had more run-ins with Endermen.
Yeah, the amount of Endermen I have teleport inside my builds while I'm working on them. Screw that. Get out of here.
Yeah, I want to say Creeper, but I feel like it's too obvious. And I don't know, I feel like they're a little more manageable.
Yeah, creepers I don't really have much of a problem with. Drop creepers are pretty scary.
When they spawn above you, drop down on you.
Yep.
Yeah, it's more of like a caving thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like everyday things I do. What mobs
Exactly.
annoy you? Yeah, you're right. Phantoms for sure.
Cats. When you build an iron farm and cats are just spawning everywhere.
I haven't had one cat in my iron farm yet.
Ooh, you got lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't either, but that's because I put my iron farm 60 blocks below ground.
Yeah. I don't know, villagers are kind of annoying.
They can be. I don't know. I don't think there's much more in ways of annoying.
Yeah, that number 3 is like a combination of the other annoying mobs.
Drown can be annoying early game, but...
Pillagers always seem to show up and annoy you.
Yeah, pillager patrols.
Yeah.
Because you have to kill the captain in a special way if you don't want bad omen.
Yep, you gotta avoid killing him a certain way.
I always just try to trick his teammates into killing him.
That's what I do. Put his teammates behind him. Yeah, they always seem to interrupt. I've only seen one this season on Ripple Effect.
Same. And it was in the shopping district.
The fact that our wanting traders can sell other things besides what they normally do makes them a little more useful, a lot less annoying.
Yep, we get the mini blockheads with the wandering trader now.
They used to be annoying. They could have been the top 3.
But it's free leads. I've forgotten how to craft leads because I just get them free from wandering traders.
Yeah, I haven't crafted a lead in a long time. Any annoying passive mobs? I mean, besides the bat? I guess the bat.
Cats.
Yeah, I guess cats would be the most annoying out of the passive one.
Yeah.
Guess we could throw that at number 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting to think about. How would you categorize them and stuff?
Should we move on to the next comment?
Next comment is from CoreOtter. They say, "Hey, Duds and Jimbo. I wanted to ask what stuff you use for podcasting as I want to start one myself, like editing software, recording programs, etc. So what is it that you use?"
The same thing that you use.
Right.
Because we have the exact same setups, which works out really well. Well, I shouldn't say exact same. Our USB interfaces are a bit different, but we both use Audacity to record. Usually what's going on is I'm recording my own voice. My recording does not have Jimbo on it at all. And then Jimbo's doing the exact same. He has his recording. I'm not on it at all.
Right.
And then usually we have a backup. I have a separate computer that will record the entire call together. But I've had to turn off that backup computer after my power surge has messed something up, and I just haven't gotten it up and going yet. And the backup is really only there in case something bad happens to either mine or Jimbo's recordings, because it's recording the Discord call, which means you get drops, you get cutouts, and you get what do they call it, artifacts and stuff, so it doesn't sound as good.
Artifacts?
Yeah, that's what they call it, I think.
Where it's like all fuzzy and stuff?
Yeah, where you got little fuzz sounds happening.
Yeah, I've had those artifacts.
Yeah. So recording locally, and then both me and Jimbo do a quick pass over both of our edits. Usually you spend 5-10 minutes cleaning out anything major, amplifying the sound, doing a noise reduction, stuff like that. So like I move around in my chair a lot. I'm sure it ticks Carl off. I just can't sit still for the close to 2 hours it takes to record. So I do a couple. I try one, not to move unless I'm quiet, because that helps recording. And two, I usually can find the chair movements, and I try to reduce a good bit of them before I send it to Carl. There's probably a lot more noise that Carl doesn't see. Like the amount of times I punch the microphone just trying to wiggle around that he doesn't see, because I see this giant line on the recording. I'm like, oh, gotta get rid of that.
Accidentally threw an uppercut.
Exactly.
Take that out.
The amount of times I punch a mic is crazy.
I honestly don't notice on this end.
Good.
But yeah, well, like if we have to cough or anything, we just cough just to make sure we can see it in our recording so we can take it out. You know, maybe take a mental note of, okay, 3-4 minutes in, I cough. So I got to find that before sending to Carl.
Early in the recordings, that was real bad for me. I was going through some kind of allergy where I would cough for 3 to 4 months every year. And I mean, I could only get 3 or 4 sentences out before I would start coughing. Now I'm on medication, so it only lasts about a month now, which stinks. But what has helped is our audio interfaces. So me and Jimbo are both using Shure SM58 microphones, which are really nice, rugged XLR microphones. And they're relatively cheap. I think, what were they, Jimbo? $100? It was like $99.99 or something like that.
Yeah, it was around 100.
Yeah. And then we use different interfaces. You're using an inbox interface, and the USB interface is important because with these mics, you need a lot of gain because we're not singing. They're meant for people to be projecting their voices, and me and Jimbo aren't doing it. We just talk.
No, we don't sing much.
Sometimes. So you need a USB interface that's got a good amount of gain that doesn't sound terrible. Jimbo got an inbox, which has been really good. And then I ended up getting a Go XLR Mini, which has been real nice because it comes with the mute button. So when I cough, I can just reach over and hold the mute button and it'll deafen my mic and I can go ahead and cough. So that helps Carl with edits. And it also comes with the fancy button, which is fun.
Yeah, the bleep. Yeah, we don't know what Carl uses to edit the episode.
I think he does it in Audacity.
Does he do it all in Audacity?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're recording and editing in Audacity, which is free.
Nice. Yeah, so that's pretty easy. We do use Google Sheets, right?
Yeah.
Google Sheets, yeah.
Google Sheets for our notes.
Yeah, we make sure to take care of our notes. I do it day of, mainly. Dutch tries to get everything ready the night before.
Yeah.
If I have time, I'll jump on there with him. We'll go over the notes, try to come up with some topics. And yeah, we keep everything there. Showtime comes up. We have our notes there. We make sure just to make sure we don't forget anything. It's very, very helpful.
Yeah, Google Sheets is nice because all three of us, me, Carl, and Jimbo, can be in it and typing at the same time.
Yep.
So that's really nice. The amount of times I got to leave notes, like I had to do that this week for Carl. Carl, do not delete link below. This is for an upcoming show. And then he just writes -- okay.
Yeah, it's also a way to communicate. Speaking of communicating, Discord has been huge for the podcast.
Discord is massive.
Yeah, just getting a bunch of questions in, what you guys are thinking, about the show, any comments, it makes it easier to bring it up on the show, find other topics.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend. Of course, you're going to need an audience to be able to use the Discord, but to communicate with everyone who listens and works on the show, Discord is the main thing we use.
Yeah, Discord is a game changer, and now we have like a stage. So one of our perks of being a patron is if you're a milk level patron, not only do you get your name read in the show at the end of the show, but you can listen to the show live. So like we have Wire Guy and I believe it's KC Plays Games. They're chilling in the chat right now. So when we do our post show, most of the time they're able to speak freely and we just talk to each other the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the main three things we have up when we record. We have our Audacity, we have our Discord up, and our notes.
Yep.
Google Sheets. Every time.
Yep. Thank you guys for those comments. And those comments were from our Discord. And it's the only place you can talk to everyone who works on the show easily. Just take C3PO's word for it.
Hello, interwebs. I'm C3PO, a member of the Withering Effect Discord, a great place to talk to fellow like-minded Minecrafters and to get to know the people from the show. Sometimes there are even puppy pictures. Don't delay. Join the Discord today. Link is in the show notes. Toodaloo! Duds made me say that.
Thank you for the Discord ad, C3PO. And speaking of the Discord, it's the only place where you can get involved in our Mending Minecraft vote. This week, we asked you to choose between one of 3 biomes for us to discuss and improve. Your choices were forest, basalt deltas, and snowy taiga.
And the winner this week of Mending Minecraft is... basalt deltas.
Why?
Yeah, it's a pretty big victory.
I think basalt deltas was the easier one to fix this week.
Yeah, it's more of the rougher terrains.
Well, forest, I could have added like bears,
Anything.
brush, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Forest did come in second. It had 19 votes. Basalt deltas, though, had 35.
Whew.
And the snowy taiga was 7. Yeah, so people want to know about their basalt deltas, what we can do with them. A few things before we start about the basalt deltas. Basalt deltas is a volcanic biome situated in the nether. The basalt deltas is composed largely of basalt and blackstone, and its fog appears in a dull lilac color with ash particles passing by. That's like the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Only gas, magma cubes, and striders can spawn here. Also, the bastion remnants do not generate in the basalt deltas.
Mm-hmm.
The basalt delta, or the deltas of the basalt deltas, are 1 block deep sheets of constrained lava found among the terrain of basalt delta biomes.
Yeah.
Those are what deltas are. I wasn't even sure what they're technically a structure in the basalt deltas.
Right. And
Yeah, that's it.
And this is where it differs from real life deltas. Like a delta in real life is where the end of a river meets a large body of water. And a delta is made up of river runoff. So it's a bunch of sediment that just has been pushed out.
Okay.
And that's what upsets me with basalt deltas. It doesn't feel like a delta. It's a really cool name. And basalt deltas are a really cool looking biome. I think I said that when we had the Nether update, that the basalt deltas were my favorite looking biome, but they're not really a delta. So I would love if, one, we had lava rivers in basalt deltas. That would be cool.
Okay.
And a delta would always be at the edge of a lava ocean, because that's where deltas go, or a lava lake, or whatever you want to call them. Large body of lava.
This is like out inside the basalt deltas, or it could be anywhere in the nether.
If you have a giant lava lake, a delta would be on the edge of it.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be on the edge of it, but could be on the edge of it. So you could have a lava lake without a basalt delta, but you can't have a basalt delta without a lava lake.
Okay.
So there's that. And then coming up with like a structure to put in the delta, you heard like there are no remnants or anything like that. And I didn't want to add another mob to spawn in there because honestly, magma cubes and gas in the basalt deltas are already dangerous enough.
Yeah, it is.
Because one wrong movement and you fall into lava. So another hostile mob was not on the books.
Yeah, I think the terrain of the basalt deltas is definitely the hardest to traverse.
Mm-hmm.
Even with elytra.
Yeah.
Like there's hardly any area to fly. You almost got to fly around the basalt deltas half the time to get through them.
Yep. And don't you dare throw an ender pearl.
Oh no, lava everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous.
Yeah. But I thought it would be cool if you could find piglin artifacts.
Okay.
Like maybe just a tiny structure here or there, or maybe a brute axe or something. Stuff like that.
Like a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Storyline.
Yeah, a little bit of lore.
Lore, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, like a little lore why they're not there. They can't spawn there.
Or maybe there was one there and they died and left this stuff behind.
Deltas pushed them out.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe a delta was overflowing lava that's cooled over the time.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing too much.
Yeah, I was thinking about how you can improve it, and it's relatively new, the basalt deltas.
Yeah.
So
That was the other thing. You don't want to tweak too much because it is a brand new biome.
it's relatively up to date. So I do like the ash particles they added to it.
I do too.
Definitely my favorite part about it.
Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me. So I posted this picture in Discord Friday at work. We had a fire.
Oh, I saw.
Yeah, there's a car sales lot next to us, and there's a bunch of woods between us. And they're known to burn tires back there near the woods, which is a dumb idea. But, well, and it's really illegal. They're not supposed to do that anywhere near city limits. I don't even think you're supposed to be burning rubber tires, period. But, yeah, they were burning something, and they didn't realize one of the embers had blown into the woods. And winter in North Carolina is weird because all the leaves fall out of the trees, so the ground's just covered in leaves, and sometimes it gets cold and wet, but a lot of the times, like Friday, it was 65 degrees and bone dry. So all the leaves in the woods just went up in flames.
Yeah.
And I'm talking flames up to my chest. And it was funny because me and the guy I'm working with, I walk up to him like, "Do you smell campfire?" He's like, yeah, I smell it. So we went and got one of our higher ups and we're like, "Do you smell it?" And he's like, "Nah, I don't smell anything." We're like, "You sure?" And he's like, "Nah. Well, we come back 15 minutes later. The fire had made its way to our parking lot's fence line, which was a couple feet away from where my car was. So we're all like running out to our cars to move them. And it felt like I was in a basalt delta with all the ash falling. Like I was covered, my car was covered. It was like snow that stunk. Yeah, so to me that was cool. The fact that my first thought in the middle of all this fire, well, other than get my dang car out of here and get to safety, was this feels like basalt deltas in the nether.
Yeah, the ash in the air.
I had to wash my car yesterday.
Jeez. Yeah, I've never had any situation like that.
My car went from blue to lightish gray blue.
Oh.
Yeah, fire department came, they got it all under control. Basically by the time we were able to leave work. But I work in the warehouse, which meant we just breathed smoke all day, which I felt was kind of rude.
Yeah, could be rough.
I had to come home and wash all my clothes because they smelled like campfire.
Yeah.
But anyways, should we move on to our topic?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Our topic comes from my disdain of rain in Minecraft now. I don't like it. It sucks. But Minecraft has changed the way the rain spawns to make it rain more.
Yeah, at least it feels like it.
It feels like it's raining every other day in Minecraft now. I know it's not, but it feels like it.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of this at all. And I was like, well, let's try to find out ways to make it better. That's what we're going to go with.
All right.
We know Minecraft tries to do seasons with biomes. So when you get something like snow, you're only going to get it in a certain biome. But that also means that the grass color changes. So like taiga grass is a little bit more dull than plain grass, and mushroom grass is way more tropical than plains grass. So one of the first things I thought would be, how cool would it be to be able to silk touch the different color grasses and be able to move it and place it down?
Make it like a different biome.
Right, yeah.
And move it.
You could manufacture your own kind of like, so if you dug up a snow block or a snowy grass block, you could now move it and put it down. So you can manufacture small areas to be different kinds. Maybe doing enough snow blocks in a certain area means it snows there when it rains.
Yeah.
So maybe you only want it to snow on a house. So you dig out underneath the house and place these snow blocks underneath it.
Oh, okay.
Or snow grass blocks, not just snow blocks, snow grass blocks. And that causes it to only snow on the house. So like you're doing a Christmas build, but you don't want to build in the snowy area. You want to build in a plains or something like that. But now you can manufacture snow falling by moving these blocks over.
Yeah. Yeah, you can always make a plains look wintry, but the weather, you're not going to get that weather.
Yeah. I thought about that in my taiga forest. I really like my taiga forest, but every once in a while it'd be cool if it snowed there.
Do have snowy taigas.
There is that, but I don't like when it snows there all the time.
Yeah, dealing with the rain all the time, especially, when you try to make content.
Yeah.
is it's a struggle.
We're supposed to have a way to turn that off with sleeping. And a lot of people are saying, well, it doesn't rain till it gets close to nighttime anyways. I'm not seeing that. Like, a lot of the times when it's raining on me, it's the beginning of the day.
Yep.
So I've lost an entire 20 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever it is, to rain in recording time.
Yeah, I'd rather have a thunderstorm so I could sleep through it.
Yeah, right. There also comes with the fact that running around in the rain in Minecraft makes me motion sick for some reason.
Does it?
Like, I just started realizing this. I was trying to get indoors when it started raining, and I was a good ways away from my house. And I was just like, why am I feeling sick to my stomach? And I realized it was the rain. The second I got inside, I was good.
Mm-hmm.
And Minecraft's the only game I get motion sick on doing certain things. Most of the time, it's working in just a 2-block tall tunnel. That'll do it to me. But yeah, the rain. I guess because it never rained that much before, I didn't notice it. But now that it's raining like all the time, it's making me motion sick.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that pretty much rain is the only weather we have. You know,
Yes.
That's why we kind of brought this up. All we have is rain. That or thunderstorms. That's it. There's no in between.
You can never get a mist. You don't get fog.
Yeah. What if we do have like an in between? Maybe like an overcast.
Yeah.
That could help you avoid the rain, but also give a chance for mobs to spawn in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with that overcast, it would take the light level down a little bit.
Well, the fact that they have to spawn in light level 0 now,
Yeah.
kind of hurts that. But with the overcast, we get overcasts in deserts and savannas.
Yes. Yep. What if you just moved it through the world? You know, that would be...
Right, yes.
It would just be a weather, not so much of a feature in that biome.
Yeah. You could randomize location. You would probably still need to do it by biome, but not specifically to biomes. So this taiga biome is getting ready to have a weather event. That weather event is now randomized, so it's getting a misting. But the biome next to it, it's randomized is a downpour.
Yeah.
And then it changes and stuff. No longer will it rain everywhere except for savanna and desert. Now it might actually rain in the desert for once.
Right. Now, you brought up misting. When you say misting, I'm thinking fog. I have fog down here as some kind of an improvement because fog is like a weather.
Yeah.
You know, it's more like an atmospheric type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes it, I don't know, makes it thicker to see through.
Yeah.
What if in the mornings along like riverbeds, there's like a thick fog when you're running through? I think that would be cool to see. And it doesn't have to be like so much realistic. Like fog does generate more around rivers and stuff. It becomes more foggy because the water's being... I don't know how fog works, apparently. I'm trying to explain it, but I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
But, there's water in the air. It's condensation.
I love the idea of fog because to me, fog in Minecraft can be really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But localizing it to features, I think would make it hard.
Yeah.
So I already know randomizing weather events based on biomes would honestly be complicated. So to even break it down further into localizing it to a feature like a river.
Yeah.
Well, there are river biomes. They literally say river biomes on there.
Yeah.
So you could do that using my idea.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, naturally that's where you'd find it, but this is Minecraft.
Yeah.
Maybe you could have fog everywhere at certain times of the day. It could be a weather thing. Maybe in the desert it's more like a sandstorm. That's sandy and it's a fog. And it doesn't hurt you or anything. It just makes the visibility worse while you're running along. I thought that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I was just thinking early morning near bodies of water could randomize into a fog.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you have better chances around bodies of water.
Yeah. So like if you have a 2% chance of fog early morning, because that's when you see fog. You don't see fog at 3 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least you rarely see it.
Right.
So 2% chance of fog in the morning. But if you're near a body of water like an ocean, it increases from 2 to 10.
Mm-hmm. And once the sun gets so high, it kind of burns off the fog.
Yeah. By the time the sun's midday, it's gone.
Yeah. Or even sooner.
Yeah, even sooner. then you would start having people hunt for the perfect screenshot.
Yeah. Or maybe if you're like after someone, like we have this game Assassin on our server, maybe in the fog might be a good time to go after somebody. But I don't you could turn the fog on and off though. Like there is fog in the game naturally. It's more of like a rendering thing, a render distance.
Mm-hmm.
But you can always turn that off, which could obsolete the whole fog idea. I do have on here atmospheres.
Okay.
Now, the way I wanted to explain this is, let's say you're in the desert, right? Desert's really hot. Maybe, the atmosphere doesn't look the same as if you're in a plains biome. Maybe the sun's really bright in the desert. Maybe if you look far enough away, you could see like the heat in the air, like that wavy heat in the air. You have that kind of atmosphere in the desert. And, other biomes would have their own type of atmosphere, kind of like the Nether. Now, I've been asking for this for a while now.
Yeah.
I love what they did with the Nether and the atmospheres. Now, it's not so much of a weather type of thing, but I feel like it lets you know if it's hot, if it's cold, just from the atmosphere.
Yeah, we thought we were going to get that with the cave update.
Yeah.
And we didn't.
Yeah, they did mess around with the atmosphere in the caves a little, just by the looks, really, the generation. But the atmosphere we're talking about, I don't think they really touched it in the overworld.
Mm-mm. But speaking of the Nether, what if we had Nether weather?
Yeah.
You mentioned we have atmospheres and stuff, and I don't mean like it's raining in the Nether, like not that.
Right.
But talking about basalt deltas and stuff, what if the lava gets a little angry and bursts out every once in a while? Like you see a little bit of lava pop up 2 or 3 blocks every 10 to 30 seconds.
Like a little geyser.
Yeah, a little tiny geyser.
Lava geyser.
That could be cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of seeing if that would be considered weather.
Yeah, I was trying to think of ways to add weather to the Nether without just being like, now it rains.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, we have all this lava geysers could be cool. Kind of like, Yellowstone and stuff. Was it Yosemite? Where they have the water geysers, and I don't know, something like that could be cool.
Yeah, it's almost like the Nether's kind of a different world. Could you make up a new weather? Could you possibly do that? Something that's not going to like interfere too much with your gameplay, just as much as rain would. It's just kind of
Steam
the annoyance. Yeah, maybe steam is a weather inside the Nether, Nether weather.
Yeah, so like it's trying to rain, but because it's the Nether, it immediately evaporates.
Yeah. Maybe there's like a hiss in the air because it can't.
That could be cool.
Or maybe the fog thing might be worth using in the Nether instead of the overworld.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it just gets foggy in the Nether. Man, you imagine how much more dangerous it would be?
Yeah.
If you took sight away from the Nether? Jesus.
No, thank you.
Yeah, maybe Nether weather isn't.
Yeah, maybe not the best idea. My final thing, though, was we need a way to be able to summon storms.
Okay.
We now have the lightning rod, which can control where lightning hits, which is a great idea.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But there's a lot of times people are just constantly waiting for thunderstorms to happen. And then there are other people who are on the server who are like, well, I don't want to deal with thunderstorms right now. But because this person's been waiting 3 hours for a thunderstorm, I have to let it happen. I mean, it'd be so much better if someone can wait till the server's empty and then be able to summon their thunderstorm or whatever.
Yeah.
Then, of course, you would run into the people who would just constantly make it thunderstorming all the time.
Yeah.
That would be a downfall.
Yeah, how could you balance something like that? That'd be the main question.
Yeah, you'd have to make the summoning expensive. Like, summoning the dragon is not cheap, but it's also farmable. So it would need to be more expensive than that. Same with the wither. It's not cheap, but farmable. So you would need to make it kind of like Notch Golden Apple worthy. Like something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely can't be easy.
But that's all I got.
Well, there's I do want to bring up the rain and how you could use your Riptide Trident to just fly.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one positive about the rain. If you do have a Riptide Trident, you can kind of get around with that.
That's true.
Which is nice. But yeah, you can't do that in the snow, can you?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, that's mainly the only thing I could see positive with the rain. It's been pretty annoying to me also.
Chat's telling me not in snow.
Nope, not in the snow.
That's dumb. Because snow is just frozen water. Should be the same thing.
But yeah, let us know if you guys have any fixes for the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of curious. And what new weather would you bring into the game? Would there be a new one?
Oh, yeah. I want to know what new weather people want to bring in.
Mm-hmm.
Tornadoes.
Yeah.
The only problem is I don't want tornadoes destroying stuff.
That's the main thing. Like I would like to see like a devastating event like that at one point, but there's going to be a lot of damage, and I'm sure Mojang doesn't want that.
No, they've already come out and said that they love the idea of natural disaster kinds of things, tornadoes, earthquakes, floods, but you can't damage a player's build with a natural event. That's against the rules, so you can't do that.
And, we brought up earlier about the goat horn and how cool.
Yeah, causing avalanches.
Yeah, you brought that up a while ago. What if the goat horn with that trumpet sound can cause avalanches, or maybe break the snow blocks, or not the powdered snow block, the
snowier snow.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd like to see that. It would be player made avalanches, kind of.
Yeah,
but yeah, thought I'd bring that up.
All right, well, I think that's going to do it for today's show. Before I have Jimbo read us out, I want to say a huge thank you to all of our patrons who are supporting the show. Our milk level patrons are Omni, Chief Big Bear, Croc, Fragile Rock, KC, OB, Viper's Tuna, and Wire Guy. If you too would like to get access to exclusive benefits and hours of extra content each month, please consider joining at patreon.com/The Withering Effect.
And if you like the show, you can share it with all of your friends and on social media. If you listen on Spotify, rate and follow us so you never miss a future episode. Or if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a nice review. Doing any of these really helps the show reach more listeners. If you'd like to get in contact with us, send an email to podcast@thewitheringeffect.com. Tweet us, leave a voice message, or join our Discord, where you can have a chat with everyone who works on the show and fellow listeners. All the links will be in the show notes.
This show has been brought to you by Jimbo and myself, but also our digital producer, Carl. He helps make sure the show ends up where it should be. And the amazing music you hear in the intro and outro is created by the one and only Decoy. Everyone's social media info can be found in the show notes. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for getting withered with us. You should probably go drink your milk now. Bye.
See you guys.